Alright, man, we back. Mercy Sports Talk in the building. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. I was supposed to get to this video early this week, man, but I forgot about it. But thank God, usually I write down the videos that I need to do sometimes. Sometimes I just had this one hanging in one of my windows, man. But shout out to yardbarker.com. Sean McVay, hence ex-quarterback, can't read defenses. What's so funny about that? People in Detroit don't think Stafford can read defenses. Some people, but let's talk about it. Check the Detroit Lions Talk playlist out and get situated. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Best way to help the channel. And I'm just gonna go to this quote. Okay, you're able to execute. This is Sean McVay quote. You're able to execute play action, your movement, and those things. But when you get to third down, those known pass situations, the 2-minute drill at the end of the half, at the end of the game, the way that Stafford able to move and manipulate the pocket to recognize and understand coverages and make all the 5 eligibles come alive, the way that he can create off schedule in the pocket, out the pocket, just overall competitiveness and command. Quote again, those are things that I think he can bring to the table where you're asked to get through progressions, recognize reads, solve problems protection-wise. You're seeing him do a lot of those things. So that was his quote. He ain't get away from me today. What's up, bud? What's up, Mason? No breath be on. La la la. But basically that's what he said. He said he can't read defenses. Fuck Hinton. He said it. He said you need somebody. He said when you're asked to get through progressions, to recognize reads, solve problems, and we knew that because remember in the Super Bowl, Bill Belichick exposed that that Sean McVay was telling Jared Goff where to go to with the ball. He got exposed. And everybody wants us to be optimistic on Jared Goff, which I am. I'm going to go in with an open mind. And maybe it was something that Sean McVay was lacking in his methods of teaching that Jared Goff didn't pick up on reading defenses. And, I'll talk about Stafford in a minute. So hopefully Anthony Lynn can recognize that. But one thing when Goff had success, one of those things that he did was that they was able to run the ball. And Anthony Lynn is known for running the ball. He known for getting the backs out the backfield, getting the ball to the backs out the backfield. So, the good thing here is it's a lot of positive. Anthony Lynn is an offensive coordinator who can get the ball, who can run the ball. That's him. Say bye, Mason. He one of those dudes that actually recognized to run the ball. He was a running back in the National Football League, and one thing Anthony Lynn got to understand, that we haven't had that mentality since Barry left. It was lucky you had Barry Sanders, Billy Sims, and people saying, Reggie Bush had a 1,000-yard year. It didn't feel like it, especially towards the end. James Stewart, Reggie Bush, James Stewart's the last 2 backs to have a 1,000-yard season. I think James Stewart came before the millennium, 2000. I really think he had his last 1,000-yard year before that. I'm going to tell y'all right now. Texas got some produced some of the best football players. He almost 50 years old. That's wild. Yep, he had 2,000. He had 1,184 yards. Matter of fact, he did it again. My bad. He did it twice. He probably would have had 1,000 yards all 3 years with the Lions, but he only played 11. He only played 11 games in 2002. But he had 1,000 in 2000. He had 1,000 in 2002. To be exact, 1,021. So I mean, there's only been 3 quarterbacks at the turn of the century that's had 1,000 yards rushing. Well, he was born in Tennessee, but he was born in Texas, but raised in Tennessee. So let me double check that. Yeah, he's raised in Tennessee. I was just driving through Tennessee a couple months ago. Damn hills! You get to Tennessee, Kentucky. I went to see my sister in Nashville. Didn't get a chance, but we went through the same way going through Ohio. You going to Georgia? I went through. First, we went through Louisville. And driving through Louisville was the longest shit ever. Go through Louisville, then you come around. Then we came back. We went the regular way, the short way. Then we went through Knoxville. Yeah, we went through Knoxville and to Kentucky. But then we went through Lexington second time. So, but back on code. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, maybe Sean McVay couldn't get through to him, but a true Lion fan, like not some of these optimistic Lion fans. I just started. I was chopping up with somebody, and it was like, well, I'm a blah fan and a Lion fan. I'm like, nigga, come on. There's a lot of perpetrators out here. I'm a straight Lion fan, and most of us real Lion fans, the old heads, man, we know that if they couldn't do it in LA with a hell of a coach like Sean McVay, they're not gonna get it done in Detroit and give Jared Goff something that he didn't have in LA. And if my train of thought is right, and most Lions fans that's been around, man, if we right, they'll be looking for a quarterback next draft. If they start to turn the thing around, then Jared Goff gonna be a hell of a quarterback, or they're gonna get the most out of him. But most people believe Jared Goff has had his best days have come and gone, and I don't want to say that I believe that, but usually Detroit is a graveyard for players. They come here and they forgotten about, even if they were great, like Oliver Quinn was a better line than he was a Texan, and he had these great years where he might have been one of the 2 or 3, maybe the best safety in the league. He didn't get recognized because he played in Detroit. So he'll be 27 this year. My thing is, if they want to change the narrative, first you got to change it with your local people. You got to change it with people in the great state of Michigan, the great city of Detroit. We got to see it. And like this just bring me back to what I've been talking about earlier this year. What I've been talking about with the Lions. If you want to change the notion that this ain't a graveyard, support Jared Goff. Go in this draft and support Jared Goff. Go in this draft, and obviously they say Jamar Chase might go to the Bengals. Joe Burrow's career over with. But, we get Devontae Smith. If it's Rashad Slater, if it's if whoever it is to help him, then so be it. That's what you got to do. You got to help him. If it's moving down and, you know what, we're going to take Zaven Collins, Jamin Davis. We move down, we get an extra third, we get a second. We come back and get a guy like maybe Cardavius Toney, maybe Demonte Brown. Then we come back in the third and help him out again. Then that's a hell of a thing. But if they come in this draft and they don't support Jared Goff and they go into they go into day 1, day 2, day 3, and they don't help him majorly, they don't help him with a receiver, it's going to be the same thing, because the only thing that's positive in Detroit that was negative in the Rams is the offensive line. That's the only thing. So, and the offensive line was better than it was than thought, because they was able to run the ball and play action off of it. But if they don't support Jared Goff this draft and they move down and they don't give him no super help, you can't. It's gonna be everything we thinking about is gonna be true. They got to go in here and support him. They didn't do enough support in the offseason. They didn't get him a right tackle. I like Terrell Crawford, he cool, but like I said, if Sewell fought to them, that's a big help. Go ahead and get Sewell, but don't forget you can come back in the second and get Alex Leatherwood. And Sewell said he could play left tackle, right tackle, and inside. Alex Leatherwood could play left tackle and right tackle. So, that's my thing. They need to go out there and help him. And if it's with Devontae Smith, so be it. If it's with Jalen Waddle, Cardavius Toney, or somebody else, they need to go out there and help Jared Goff. But and that's just what the 411 is, man. For my 80s and 90s, baby. That's just what the 411 is. They gotta support Jared Goff, and they don't support Jared Goff. It's gonna be a gray, or it's gonna be a long year. Quarterback position is the most important position in this league, man. If you don't believe you got your quarterback, you need to be looking. If you believe you got your quarterback, you need to support him, man. They go in this year and they don't have success running the ball, Jared Goff gonna have a bad year. They go in this draft, they get him a number one like Devontae Smith. They come back, get a Leatherwood, protect him. He really ain't gonna have no excuses. But they talking about Matthew Stafford. Basically Stafford can do these things. Stafford only good if he behind or in a situation where ain't no pressure. He gonna find out real quick that Stafford struggle with read defense too. He gonna find out quick, fast, in a hurry that Matthew Stafford ain't the greatest reading defenses. Especially when the pressure on. When the pressure to win the game, Matthew Stafford fold. When he down by 20 or 14 going into the third quarter, that's when he shine the most. That's when he do his thing, and that's when he come alive the most. But, other than that, man, it would be some situations where we thought that, You know, like that RPO he threw to Marvin Jones the first game last year versus Chicago. You know, he couldn't read. He threw a pick, and that's how we really end up losing the game, along with a few injuries. But that was a play that stick out, and fans continue to forget. And we're gonna see if Stafford is any good. If Stafford any good, he go to LA. He good, okay. But if it's situations where they gonna be in situations where their defense gonna put them in situations where they gonna have to win games and get Stafford the ball, and they gonna find out real quick that when the game on the line is pressure, Stafford don't perform. You know, it's funny how everybody in the National Football League outside Detroit, or even Detroit, view Matthew Stafford, but there's been situations where he make bad decisions. There's been situations where the game in the balance. Been situations against really good teams where we in it, and he just has situations where he failed to come up, and we gonna see in LA. And if in LA he failed, then his fans gonna have to eat a fat one. But yeah, I think Jared Goff is we'll see. He got a hell of an arm. We'll see where his ball placement. I think he got a more catchable ball than Stafford, especially when Stafford got here. He liked to put everything on the line. I think he can drop the ball in the bucket. I think he got a little bit more touch on his pass, but we'll see. But one thing he gonna come into that he got a better offensive line. That's one thing he can have better protection if he's healthy. And if they support him with a Sewell, a Slater, a Darisaw, Alex Leatherwood, or any other 1,000 tackles that's probably gonna go in the first 2 rounds, I think they're gonna be all right. But taking Sewell or somebody like Darisaw to play left, it's gonna be. I think this gonna be right. They can find somebody to play right and left. Guess what? You can play. Really remember Ronnie Staley's still out there too. Don't rule out. If they smart, swap Taylor Decker for Ronnie Staley. We probably want some more compensation, but Staley want to be traded. But perfectly, if you want to support him, either Smith, then Leatherwood, or you go Sewell and come back Tony Marshall next. It's a whole bunch. Damani Brown, he's a really good receiver. I think he one of the 2 or 3 best receivers in the game. But if you want to support Jared Goff, you go Sewell, Damani Brown, Smith, Alex Leatherwood. But we'll see what happens. There's a lot of tackles in this draft. A lot of people don't realize someone from Texas, Michigan, Notre Dame, a lot of tackles, Clemson, but North Dakota State, I think it is. But let me know what you think about the video. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out if you have business question, inquiries, sponsorship, video requests, all our social media links, subscription. Fast way to reach me is Twitter, then Facebook, then Instagram. Want to make a financial donation, Cash App, CJ Good 313. That's in the description. PayPal link here as well too. Don't forget, check my other channel out. Nice way to donate for more sports news and entertainment right here on YouTube. Goodfellow Sports TV. One time for the one time. Peace. Let me know what you think in the comment section.